Hello everybody, welcome back. You're of course watching Sport Federation TV. It's nice to have you back with us. Well, of course, if you've just joined us, you will know that recently it's been sport awards pretty much in all of the districts. In studio with me now is Rueban van Romburgh. Rueban is of course the chairperson of the Overberg Kickboxing Association. And this past week in Overberg, in Hermanus at the Kuro School, we had the Overberg Sport Awards. And Rueban was of course one of the stars of the evening, walking away as the Sportsman of the Year, Administrator of the Year, and as Coach of the Year. A unique accomplishment. 3 awards in one night. Rueban, welcome.
Thank you very much, JP.
Did I get it right? All of those awards, Sportsman of the Year, Administrator of the Year, Coach of the Year?
Yes, you got it right.
I mean, that's an enormous accomplishment. I mean, the big one is, of course, Sportsman of the Year. I think a lot of people think, but let's start at the beginning here. Administrator of the Year. What does that mean? How did you guys get to that point?
Administrator of the Year, that was something that we've been aiming for quite a while, always coming up short with administrator. So we actually target that a lot, getting all our administrating stuff in order, complying with all the policies and stuff like that. Also being part in that administrator, also being part of the high performance athletes program of WAXA. We're the only, at this present point, the only federation or association that's part of the WAXA program in the Overberg. And yeah, that's actually, that was the cherry on top for me.
Was it really?
Yeah, that was the cherry on top. Previously I did win Coach of the Year, Sportsman of the Year, but the administration was actually the cherry on top for us.
Do you surround yourself with people that help you with admin? You're not doing it on your own, it's a team effort?
Yeah, it's a team effort. It's a team effort. Of course, I'm not a captain sailing alone. You have your team that works with you. My wife is my biggest helper at home. She's always saying, hey, remember this, doing that, Ingrid. So yeah, if it wasn't for her, I would have probably, the boat will probably sink on the end of the day. Yeah, so yeah, it's always that woman that stands behind the man.
Talk to me a little bit about Coach of the Year. Yes, you've got Coach of the Year, but part of that is that your kids, your students did so well as well, because a number of them received medals. So when you're getting Coach of the Year, it's a measurement actually of how your students have been doing.
Yes, 100%. So I always look at coaching in a concept of the formation of a duck or birds when they fly. So the leader flies right in front, they fly in a V shape, and when he gets tired, moves to the side, somebody else takes over. So I have to lead in front. That's why I'm still competing. I've been competing all my life. I started kickboxing on the age of 3.5. I'm 39 years old now, almost doing it for four decades. And this is really my passion. I also do karate or train karate. You don't do karate, you train karate. It's an art. So for me, I love kickboxing. It's one of the most unique and diverse sports out there. We have 6 fighting modes, and with that we have also 2 musical forms and weapon forms. So there's about 8 different modes in kickboxing itself. You have your full contact base in your in your ring. You've got your tatami. So it's actually for everybody.
Your kids, your students that did so well. I mean, you must be very. Before we talked about you're from a Sportsman of the Year point of view, but the kids behind the scenes, you've had different weight divisions, different medals, different events that you guys. Talk us a little bit about some of the events that your students took part in.
Okay, so going back, because your sports awards are usually in a time frame. So the first one that was very unique for us was the World Combat Games. That's an IOC recognized event that happened in
Turkey?
No, it's not Turkey. I have
Hungary,
to think now. No.
A lot of those
was actually in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh. So everybody around in the community of sports these days, they know about the Riyadh season. So that is where it started about a year ago. And that is an event that we qualified through the African Championships, that happened in 2022, 2023.
Right.
Like you can see here, right on that side, that's a Combat Games
Right.
tracksuit that I'm wearing at the bottom. So yeah, there's only 8 fighters in your division. There's
Yeah.
four from Europe. There's 1 from Africa, 1 from Pan America, 1 from the other parts of Africa,
Yeah.
or from the world. So yeah, and that was the main one starting. And then we have our regional tournaments, we have our provincial tournaments, our national tournament that happened in Porch. And then we have kids that went over and qualified for the youth tournament that happened in Hungary. 2 of my students went there. That's also, as soon as you reach national level, everybody reaches, most athletes reach national level, but we want to go for that international exposure,
Yeah.
that international going. And then, and then 2 of my students went to the Uzbekistan World Championships, but that's for next year.
Right.
So we
yeah.
already have results for next year.
Yeah.
So it's a continuous effort
Yeah.
to getting kids on certain platforms,
Yeah.
and also creating and having a next generation coming through and developing as well.
Yeah.
Like on that day of the sports awards, that specific day we also had the Legacy Spring Challenge, where 5 clubs came through to Hermanus, and we had some development. We have some preparations for the African tournament. That's the end of the year in Benoni from 9 to 12. And there's about 13 African countries competing in that.
Tell me
So,
a little
yeah.
bit about, from your perspective then, your personal perspective, because as you said now, you have to lead from the front. You've been doing kickboxing for a number of years. How do you find the time for all the administration, the coaching, and still the ability to then look after yourself and your own training? Because to be a Sportsman of the Year, I mean, just to be an athlete on its own is a hard enough work. And now you still have to do admin and support and transport and everything like that. How do you manage that?
How do I manage it? So basically, when I took Legacy Martial Arts over from my dad, it was another name. He was in karate, he was in Kojuru karate, then he was part with Hanshi Cave, Eddie Cave, that's the pioneer of kickboxing. Like I said, I was doing it from the age of 3.5. And then after I started to find my feet with my work that I do in my daytime, because I give class from 4:15 in the afternoon till 7:15.
Yeah.
So certain days with my seniors, I train with them, but it's actually not training, because you still have to look at what they do. So that is where I find the time to get some training in.
So you squeeze in a couple of sessions
While
you're looking at the kids. you try and keep the fitness going there now.
Also sparring with my students, senior students. And that's the thing, is if you look at Hungary, you look at one of the big point fighting teams in Europe, they have about 5 world champions.
Yeah.
Now, if you have more champions in your class, you will pull your lower ranked kids up to your level and maybe past your level on the end of the day. So it's that of having that experience in class and sparring with them.
Yeah.
And like we know, in karate, in kickboxing, a black belt does not hurt you if it comes to sparring. It's that white belt that kicks you unnecessary or something like that, or per accident or something like that.
That's one of the dangers that you have when you're sparring with your students, because your students are still learning and can make a mistake, and then you are constantly at risk of picking up an injury that might put you out of training.
100%.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to take risks.
Tell me a little bit about the facilities in the Overberg area. You've got the dojo in Hermanus. How does that work for people that want to join kickboxing and get involved in kickboxing?
Okay, so basically I've got a Facebook and an Instagram account. You can just scroll Legacy Martial Arts Academy there. We have about 4 clubs in the Overberg. I've got a few projects that's running, like in the farm areas. We've got a club there at the Pebble School that I run. I give about a class once a week for them, for the fundamental aspects, the grade R's to grade 3s. Then there's a club in Bredasdorp, Triple D Martial Arts Academy. There's a facility there. I've got a facility in Hermanus. That's actually at my home.
Yeah.
Because on the end of the day, with finances and stuff like that, you want to reach out to the community. You want to make the amount of money that they spend for that as less as possible.
Yeah.
So it's a hall built onto our premises
Yeah.
at home. Nice facility. I think you were there before
Yeah,
for a meeting.
I'm privileged enough to have been in your
Yes.
dojo. Fantastic venue.
Yeah.
Bags and all your memorabilia on the walls, just flooded with medals and posters. An amazing venue.
Yeah, so it's at my house, so that makes it easier.
Yeah.
So when I'm finished, I'm at home. I don't
Yeah.
have to drive somewhere. The smaller, the better on the end of the day, because,
Yeah.
like I say, that small 10 by 10 area that we have brings out champions.
So people are obviously looking at you from a sportsman of the year, coach of the year, administrator of the year. Anyone who's watching, if they want to join kickboxing, they can reach out to you on Facebook. They can look for Legacy Martial Arts, Overberg Kickboxing. There's a place to get started.
There's a place to get started on the end of the day. You can just say you're kickboxing nearby, affiliated to SACA on the end of the day. That's our official national body that's
Yeah.
affiliated to WACO. They are IOC recognized. Our president, Shian Aslam, he's our president. So yeah, like I always say, go for the real McCoy. This is the real McCoy.
That's the real McCoy, yeah.
It says kickboxing at the bottom, same as rugby. So that's what we are aiming for. In the end of the day, we want all sports to be the same.
Rueban, we'll leave it at that. Congratulations, amazing achievement. Sportsman of the year, administrator of the year, coach of the year. Your kids have done great. Your students have done great. We can't wait to see more, and can't wait to get you guys back.
100%. Thank you for having me.
There we go, folks. Rueban van Romburgh, Overberg Kickboxing, incredible accolades, and we look forward to seeing more of you do kickboxing in the Overberg area. That's a wrap from us tonight. We'll see you again next week. Same time, same place. Have a fantastic sporting weekend. Bye-bye.